Imagine a country where half the population lacks access to electricity, yet it's leading the charge in the electric vehicle (EV) revolution. Sounds paradoxical, right? But that's exactly what's happening in Ethiopia, a nation defying the odds to become an unlikely pioneer in the global shift towards sustainable transportation. And this is the part most people miss. Ethiopia isn't just adopting EVs, it's banning combustion engine imports entirely. A bold move that's turning heads worldwide. When Degareg Bekele, a young architect in his early 30s, purchased a Volkswagen electric car earlier this year, he was skeptical. After all, his hometown, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia's capital, is notorious for frequent power outages. Add to that his doubts about the vehicle's reliability, and it's clear why he hesitated. But fast forward 4 months, and Degareg is singing a different tune. The chronic fuel shortages that once forced him to wait hours in line at petrol stations are now a distant memory. Having an EV saves me so much time, he says. I have no regrets. Ethiopia's EV journey is still in its infancy, but it's accelerating faster than anyone expected. Last year, the country became the first in the world to ban imports of combustion engine vehicles, a decision that has since made EVs a common sight in Addis Ababa. China's BYD, now the world's largest EV manufacturer, dominates the market, though Western brands are also gaining traction. According to the Transport Ministry, roughly 115,000 EVs are currently on Ethiopia's roads, a small fraction of the country's 1.5 million vehicles, but a number that's poised to grow exponentially. The government aims to hit 500,000 EVs by 2030. An ambitious target that underscores its commitment to this green transition. But here's where it gets controversial. How can a country where only 20% of households have reliable electricity and where half the population lacks access entirely lead the way in EV adoption? The answer lies in a combination of economic necessity, environmental ambition, and strategic planning. Ethiopia spends a staggering $4.5 billion annually on fuel imports, a massive drain on its scarce foreign currency reserves. By contrast, its abundant hydropower, which already accounts for 97% of its electricity, is both cheap and renewable. The recent completion of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, with its 5,150 megawatt capacity, is set to double the country's electricity output, easing power shortages and providing a stable foundation for EV growth. Yet challenges remain. The national grid is outdated and unreliable, and expanding it to rural areas will cost billions. Power cuts are still a reality, disrupting factories and daily life. And while EVs are gaining popularity in the capital, they remain prohibitively expensive for most Ethiopians. A BYD model costs around 2.2 million Ethiopian birr, 11,000 pounds, a fortune in a country where the average doctor earns just £60 a month. Even with sweeping tax exemptions, affordability is a major hurdle. For taxi driver Fiery Tilahun, the switch to an EV has been life-changing. He used to spend 20,000 birr, 105 pounds, monthly on fuel, a significant chunk of his income. Now, he spends less than 3,000 birr recharging his Chinese EV. I have no plan to change back, he says, topping up his battery at a new charging station in Addis Ababa. Sometimes we have power cuts, but we manage. Ethiopia is also pushing for local EV production, though the scale is still small. The Belene Kinde Group, an industrial conglomerate, is assembling 150 Chinese minibuses on the outskirts of Addis Ababa. Our focus shouldn't just be on importation, says Barrio Hassan, State Minister for Transport. We want to create local skills and job opportunities for our citizens, but the transition hasn't been without growing pains. drivers complain about the lack of preparation and infrastructure. With just over 100 charging stations nationwide, almost all in Addis Ababa, long-distance travel is nearly impossible. Lema Wakari, a coffee export manager, loves his BYD, but laments the inability to drive to Hawassa, a popular lakeside resort 177 miles south of the capital, without risking getting stranded. They need to build more charging stations. It's a must, he says. No electric vehicles are driving outside the city right now. This car can go 420 kilometers. After that, what are you going to do? Another unanswered question is how Ethiopia will electrify its heavy-duty trucking fleet, which transports a large portion of its imports from Djibouti. As these vehicles age, the economy could face significant disruptions. And while ride-hailing drivers are slowly warming up to EVs, many remain skeptical about battery durability and resale value. So, is Ethiopia's EV revolution a bold leap forward or a risky gamble? The country's commitment to green policies and economic self-reliance is undeniable, but the challenges are equally daunting. What do you think? Can Ethiopia truly lead the way in sustainable transportation, or is it biting off more than it can chew? Let us know in the comments.